You know we live already. See, you live right now.
What's up?
Hey, Facebook family and friends. I'm T. Hatchett,
What's the deal?
and this is the Hatchett Chronicles. How's everybody today?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on?
So today's topic is deep, baby.
Before we get into that, let's just
We're gonna do that. I just want to tell the topic
why are you so excited?
because I am. It's exciting.
All right, well,
This is part 2 of forgiveness. Last week we talked about forgiveness, but it was suggested by my mom that forgiveness is such a widespread. Maybe we should break it down in 2 parts. So we decided to do a 3-part series on forgiveness, maybe a 4-part, because we want to also get into self forgiveness, and according to how that go, we might,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But for now, it's 3-part, and this is the second part, and this part is called
Mustafa, what's up, baby? What?
You yelling at people here, you're supposed to go.
I was excited.
I see.
That's my God, man. You
okay,
understand.
so this part is forgiveness. This is
He said, I'm here. Help me.
This part is forgiving your mate for cheating, or forgiving a mate, because it might be a past mate. So before we get into the topic, we want to first say that we are not licensed in anything. This is just our opinion or experience that we have lived through. Don't go out there and do something that we said and then try to come back and sue us or blame us, because number one, you won't get anything. Number two, well, maybe you did it wrong. I don't know. But
we're not licensed,
seriously,
psychiatrists, and none of that. Everything is opinionated on our show.
That's and what we've been through. So,
And
secondly, click and share. If you love our show, please share.
Click and share.
Yeah, click and share. And also go onto YouTube and like our YouTube page, because we do have a YouTube page.
Pretty soon we're going to be venturing over to YouTube. I know we said that already, but it takes time and technical difficulties and all of that. So for right now,
he said, okay.
So for right now, we're just going to beat Facebook up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so before we get started on the subject, we also want to do our little plugs. I'll go first. Unless you
go ahead.
Okay, my plugs is that shout out to my sister Val. First of all, Val McAllister. She is a 2-time author. That's so rude. That's
Sylvia. What are you doing?
Okay, so I don't know what to do. Okay, so my sister has her web series going. The Ladies of the Book Club is patterned after her book. She's the author of 2 books, The Book Club and The Book Club 2, Carol's Return. And what else? Oh, and I have I know, right?
That was real crazy.
And I have, oh my God, what is going on? Okay, so
let me see.
Push her.
Oh, now she's calling on the.
It's the same thing. It's one and the same, though. I don't know why she is calling on the phone.
Just don't worry about it.
Excuse me, y'all. I don't know what's going on, but I have my book out, The Power of God. That's still for sale. You can IM me or my husband. It is $15 and $3 shipping and handling. And you can IM me or my husband or text us for a copy of your book. I am also writing my second book, which is called Life After Bent Knees. That should be out soon, or it should be finished soon and on the way out. Should I tell them about it? Okay, and my husband and I, because we have the Hatchett Chronicles, we decided to write a book, co-write a book. So we're co-authors of a book called His rib or
From my rib.
From my rib. Okay.
Crazy.
Yes. And
it's
so
gonna be dope. Y'all really gonna love it. Because I'm having a good time right now.
He said, if that's not God, call back. Right?
Word. Word up.
So look out for our books coming up. I will be publishing those Generational Words, which is my sister Val's publishing company.
And if y'all get a chance, check out her web series on YouTube.
Yeah, the Ladies of the Book Club.
Ladies of the Book Club.
Oh, and my husband did the score. He did the theme song and a couple of other songs on there. So
did a couple of pieces to the score on that.
Yeah.
So
So
look out for that too.
What you got going on, babe?
I got the beat tape that's out right now. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play.
All your favorite
stream sites. You can go there and pick it up. Go there and listen to it. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. And everybody that picked it up, I appreciate the support. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. My wife said the book already. I'm also in the process of doing a class for beginner beat makers, for jokers that want to learn how to make beats. I'm gonna show them what I'm going to show them what program to use. I'm going to show them how to manipulate the programs and get around and just learn how to, work the program. And also, when you finish the class, I'm giving away a beat pack for 5 with over 5,000 sounds in it. Hey, mom. Hey, mom.
Hey, mommy.
I also use the same beat pack. So
hey, Mustafa.
It's not like, what's happening, cuz? It's not like I'm just giving you a frivolous beat pack. I use the same sounds that's in there too. So I got that going on. I'm also going to be streaming live on a DJ set. For those that don't know, DJing is my first love, and I've done it for years. And my man Mustafa, he's actually on checking us out right now. Lately, I've been on the phone with him, and the bug just bit me again, and he got me super excited about it. Plus, I've been listening to some stuff, and I'm just super excited about DJing again. So, right now, I'm just putting everything together, the equipment, the sound, getting the sound right, and all of that stuff. And I will put a blast out to let y'all know what night I'm going to be going on. And if you get a chance, man, listen. Y'all need to go on Tuesday nights from 8 to 9. And let me tell you something, man. You're going to have the best time in your life because Mustafa is killing it, yo. He's killing it. He be having an iRig cranking. It'd be nuts. So with that being said, we're going to get into
Hey, Sylvia.
Today's topic, which is
forgiveness. Forgiving your mate for a cheating mate. Forgiving your cheating mate.
I'm not forgiving nobody.
So, babe, we have talked about this on a personal level because
we're not putting that laundry out here.
But no, not like that, baby. Not like that.
I'm saying that baggage in the closet. No, I'm only kidding.
I'm not saying like that. What I'm saying is my husband and I, as most of people who know us know, that we talk about everything. We have a very good communication. So one of the questions that we asked before we got together, what would you leave me for? And,
Marquia, what's up, cuz?
Would you leave me for cheating? And we talked about that. And as time go on, you change, relationships change. And one thing that we always said to each other, that, we might forgive each other.
My main thing is being lied to.
Yeah.
Because with that being said, you can, whatever the reason may be, whatever happens is going to happen. But I mean, it gets to a point where, we're grown. Why, if you feel like you want to go out and do something with somebody else, why can't you be truthful and say, hey, listen, this ain't working, or, I'm feeling the urge to do something different, and just be upfront about it. Because when you just, don't say anything and you go out and you cheat, man. And it's worse when they
Then
find
you're
out.
a liar and a cheater.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
You're a liar and a cheater.
And a cheater. So with that, it's a terrible thing.
But
because then you befriend someone's friend, even in a relationship, that's your friend.
Yeah,
so you befriend their friendship.
You betrayed their friendship.
You betray their friendship. You befriend whatever. You mess it up.
You're a liar. That's not, and it's not, forgiveness is for everybody, but you don't, just because you forgive somebody don't mean you have to still be around them or deal with them. I mean, if your mate cheated and the relationship is not worth it, then why, you don't have to stay. You can forgive them for yourself, but then you can move on. You don't have to stay with them.
You can forgive but not forget.
Yeah, exactly. But if the relationship is worth it,
by all means,
you need to sit down and have a communication on what made you do that in the first place.
And what can correct it.
Yes.
And if you're still going to trust me,
yes.
If you're still going to believe, if I say I'm going to the store, or you're not following my car to the store, all of that, everything.
But forgiveness takes a while, though.
You can't put a time on forgiveness.
Yeah.
You can't. But at the end of the day, sometimes, somewhere, somehow, some way, you have to forgive, because if you don't,
it'll eat you up.
It'll tear you. It'll tear you apart.
It's for you. Now, notice I said I might forgive him, and that has a lot of if my mate cheated and everything can be good, it's over with me. I think what Sylvia is saying is that if someone cheated and the relationship is good, then it's over for her. And I understand that. I think that sometimes.
Mom just asked a great question. She said, if you don't forget, have you really forgiven? That's excellent.
That is a good question. But I think that you can forgive and not forget.
Yeah, sure you can.
I think that.
But see, that's a really fine line, I think.
Because
if you don't forget it, each time you think about it, it kind of makes you, it kind of, in a certain way, puts you back into that space again.
Yeah, because you're all the time thinking.
You know what I mean?
And to go back to the Bible, God said that He forgives and He throws it in a sea of forgetfulness,
that's
never
right.
to think about it again.
That's
so
right.
I guess in a way we are supposed to forget too.
Sure. As far as like marriage is concerned, by the word of God, if I forgive you, I can't bring that up again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I forgive you, I have to let that go. I don't need to talk about it anymore. I don't need to revisit it. If I say I forgive you, it's just like me throwing it into the sea of forgetfulness also. You know what I mean? It's just like getting rid of it like it never happened. But you have to be strong enough to want to do that. And
also, okay, so suppose somebody says, I forgive you for cheating on me. Don't there has to be some changes there or something that they can see to make them feel better? I mean, you could say, yeah, I forgive you, and continue to do the same old things.
Then that's not forgiving. That's just basically taking up space and using that as a ploy to get a pacifier at the moment. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? If for instance, I said, babe, I'm gonna forgive you. Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of things that I need to do to show you.
No, not you. Me. If you're forgiving me,
okay,
there's a bunch of things I need to show you, because you could say, okay, baby, I forgive you. And I'd be like, okay, great. And then I'm still staying out
and doing the same thing.
So don't you have the right not to trust me because I haven't made any changes?
Sure. And then what happens is I'm starting to look at you like, are you here for convenience? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't have anywhere else to go.
You're right.
I'm just saying, it sounds funny, but we got to look at, we have to have an optimistic mind. We have to look at everything on an open scale. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're there for convenience, then there's no trust and none of that anyway to begin with. There's no communication, there's no trust, there's no loyalty, there's none of that.
Oh, there already is a change taking place.
You got that right. So
let's talk about that a little bit and let's break that down a little. Okay, so we always deal, and again, this is just our opinion, but we always deal with, we are spiritual people. We believe in God, so we deal with it on that level, and we also on the marriage level. Because I think there's a difference between
marriage and going together.
Yeah, going together. Somebody who just, they're just dating. But anyway, okay, so dealing with marriage, we're married. I'm thinking, because let's go back to what Sylvia said. I'm thinking, the relationship is cool. I feel like, everything is okay. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm thinking you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then you cheat. Because we had a topic one time about how you could be in love and still cheat. Mm-hmm. You believe that. Mm-hmm. So one night, for whatever reason, you going out and you get drunk or something and you cheat. Mm-hmm. So, and then you come to me and I'm supposed to forgive you. Mm-hmm. How do I do that? What are the steps?
First of all, if I come to you to say, and I'm generalizing, I'm not saying me and you, but if I come to you and say, I cheated and I messed up and I want forgiveness and I promise I'll change and this and that. What you have to do before you even sit down to tell that person that you're sorry or whatever the case, to be truthful, you have to be honest with yourself. First of all. First and foremost, you got to be honest with yourself. Why did I cheat in the first place? You know what I'm saying? I can't really blame it on alcohol because if you, even if you're under the influence of liquor, you know what I'm saying? If you're under the influence of liquor, I still don't believe that liquor can make you do anything because you do still have a thought to do it or not because you know right from wrong. You know right from wrong when you're 2 years old.
So that brings you back to what I said in the other show we had about can you be in love and cheat? Then you can't possibly be in love
because you are in love with someone does not mean if you cheat, and we're not going to harp on that show because that show was way back.
I know, but
I mean, it does tie in.
Yeah, because I don't understand.
But my thing is you can be in love and you cheat. You don't, those same thoughts of what I just said. Okay, say you overlook the thought. All right, yeah, I know I shouldn't do it. This is what it is, and you cheat. Does that mean you don't love the person that you're with? Does that mean you're not in love with them? Does that negate the fact that how your heart feels about them?
You might love them, but you might not be in love with them because if you love them and you're not in love with them, then that means that maybe something is missing. I don't know.
You could be in love with someone and there's something missing in the relationship that you never spoke about, and you met someone and they have what you're looking for. You understand what I'm saying? And you cheat.
I know the person I am, and when I was put into that situation, I left because for once you have violated my trust. The relationship has already moved to the point of no return. And
correct.
I do certainly agree with that because it's a matter of trust. Like how can I trust you? And we're supposed to be able to forgive, but how can I trust you? It is going to be that thing of okay, where he going? And
that's going to be on your mind every time you get ready to leave. Every time you come back. You want to look at his jacket, you're looking on his collar.
So how do you make a relationship work with that?
After that.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a him. It could be a her too.
Right.
So how do you?
You have to take, like I said, this is just my opinion. My opinion is you need to assess yourself first and foremost.
But I'm talking about the person that you cheated on.
You need to assess yourself before you address them.
You didn't cheat, they did. So what you got to assess on yourself?
I'm saying that in order to be able to sit down to talk to them and get forgiveness for them and try to see if the relationship is worth working for or whatever the case may be. You understand what I'm saying? Or to at least save the friendship. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do, but I feel like it means you don't love them enough to discipline yourself. Exactly, that's what I said. No, that's mom.
No.
Oh, hi, Davita.
What did mom say?
Mom said it means you don't love them enough to discipline yourself from cheating. And that's what I said. You cannot possibly, if you love somebody, if you are in love with somebody, not love, if you are in love with somebody, then you wouldn't, I don't see cheating.
What did she say? Commitment?
Commitment. Exactly.
I feel differently. I feel differently. And like I said, we're not going to keep going on that part of the subject.
Okay, but that's kind of intertwined. How do I forgive? Like, for instance, like I said, if you cheated on me, it would be.
Forgive me?
Yeah, how do I forgive you? How do I?
It has to be in your heart to forgive.
You have broken
every
trust. You have broken everything that our relationship is supposedly built on. Mm-hmm. That would be breaking everything that our relationship is supposedly built on. Mm-hmm. Then you're asking me to forgive you. Mm-hmm. So that's like
cutting off a finger and say, "Don't worry about it. You'll grow another one."
Yeah, that's like saying, "Oh, I didn't mean to cut your finger off. Come here, let me take you to sew it back on." But you cut it off. It's like it's born. But what drove a person to cheat? That's a good question.
That's what I said.
Okay, so
Cuz, what's up, cuz? What's happening, cuz?
That goes back to Mom said all men do.
And women do too.
Men are able to separate love and sex, and I am not.
And that's another thing with men. Women are too.
Women are too, because I've been on both ends. I've been cheated on and I've cheated on. So,
all right, pick your laundry bag up.
I'm just saying, I'm being honest,
All right, we
back in the day, though, way back, way back.
I think that
she said all men feel that way.
Tony.
Hey, cuz. You can be in love and cheat. Not that it's right, because cheating is totally wrong, but it's usually an act of lust, not love. Now, if you're cheating with someone you love, that changes the game.
It changes the whole perspective of everything.
If you're cheating with someone you love. So if you love that person.
No, if you're cheating with
someone you love.
That means you're loving two people at one time, is what he's saying.
No. See,
that's what he's saying.
Okay, but I don't believe that you can love two people at a time. Either you're gonna be in love with that person, or you're gonna be in love with this person.
You don't believe that's possible?
To be in love with two people at the same time?
Yeah.
No, I believe that you can love somebody on a different level, but I don't believe you can be in love with two people.
I don't think that it's impossible. I don't think that.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
I don't think
you need to pick the one that you want to be with, because going running back and forth.
Right, I understand, and see, you know what? That's in your mind, but I'm saying, look at it optimistically. Look at it with an open mind.
Okay,
you don't think that's possible?
Okay, I love two people at the same time. I need to choose one to be with, though, and the other one got to step aside.
Okay, so that's just like going back to the show that we did before, that polygamy.
Yeah, but
ain't no bro. You was devil's advocate all day. And
I'm trying to be.
I'm just saying. Now you contradicted the other
because
show.
What did I say? I said for some people, if it works for you, it works for you.
So you don't think they're both in love at the same time?
I'm sure they think they are. I'm not saying that they're
not. Yeah, see? I'm just saying.
Oh, no, it's not the same thing.
That's like saying.
Vaughn said that it's saying I can't love mom and grandma at the same time. No, that's not the same thing. My point exactly. All men feel like you can love and still cheat. Yeah, Ma, I see that. And you know what? That's not the same thing, more because we're talking about being in love as a man and a woman, and you can't put that off mom and grandma because it's not the same thing.
You could.
It's a woman or a man.
Or whatever your preference is, 2 women or 2 men.
Okay.
I mean, I just want to be politically correct.
Okay.
For those, if we have those listeners.
That's a whole nother story.
Cheating is the only form of communication that
here you go with the auntie.
People understand.
Can I say something about
let it go. Let it
no,
come on now. Don't go into that.
This is about Monique. Monique was had a comedy show yesterday, and she said a comedian walked up to her and said, "Auntie, can I get 5 minutes?" And she said that showed so much respect because he called her auntie, and she was doing a show in Atlanta. I just want to say that. Okay, so auntie, sometimes cheating is the only form of communication that certain people understand. That means that your relationship is built off of sex and not love.
Not necessarily.
And that is not a good relationship.
No, not necessarily. That can mean that you're searching for something. That means you could be searching. I'm telling you.
Kavita said, how do you cheat to save a relationship?
What do you mean? How do you cheat to save a relationship?
Because Bourne said, because she's responding to what Bourne said about, where is it? He said, sometimes you cheat to save a relationship. That's what Bourne said. So my sister is asking Bourne, how do you cheat to save a relationship? I'd like to know that too. Because sometimes you connect mentally, just not sexual, and you can connect sexually but not mentally with the other. Okay, so that means that you have the one that you want to be with.
That goes back to what I said. That goes back to, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but that goes back to having something with one and, not having everything you want and looking for something else in someone else, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? You got a dude that takes you out to eat, but he's really not something you would set your heart on. You got a dude over here that you love to sit back and watch movies with, but that ain't the one you really feel like you could be with. There's one guy that makes great love. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So you got 5 different dudes, and you looking for 5 different things in one, and
that's what I was getting ready to bring it back to, Mom. That Mom said, then why are you married and looking for something outside of marriage instead of looking to put that element in your marriage? Because that's what I was getting ready to say. Let's bring that back to being married. If you are looking, then you should not be married.
Right. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. If you make those vows, that means you should have gotten rid of all your playtime, all your everything that you wanted to get rid of, and you from this point on, you should be dedicated to your wife, to the one that you married and the one that you took those vows to say, through better or for worse, you understand, for richer, for poor, through thick and thin, if your feet stink, if your hair really ain't really the real thing, if you got bald spots, you understand what I'm saying? It's just that. But if that's what the case is, then you shouldn't have got married in the first place.
Because Warren said Warren said women can put 5 men together trying to get the perfect man.
Right.
This guy got money. This guy got great sex. The other have other qualities. Okay.
And the same with women.
You're right. And
the same with men.
Men do the same thing. But here is the point. The point is that when you're looking for all that, until you
find is dead wrong, but
until you find that one, then you should not get married. Because once you are married, then if it becomes a thing that you need to step out, then you need to sit down and have that conversation. That's why we always say that communication is number 1 in a relationship. And one thing that you can do before you get married to assure that you maybe found that right one is, and again, my opinion, but if you are staying from sexual intercourse, then that gives you a greater chance of finding all the things you need in one person.
Yeah.
Because what physically, when you do that physical, what it does is it might slant your feelings about something. That person might not be what you're looking for, but they're great in bed.
Right. Look,
so you could
said,
forgive that for a man, Frank, but a woman reserves the right to change her mind at any time.
Yeah, I mean, and men, we're a little different because we run off lust. So that's that's a little different, cuz. But you're right. But you know the thing is, I just want to say this: we're not talking about two people going together and cheating. We're talking about
a
when you're married,
couple,
a married couple. When you're married,
and
if
the
you
mate cheat,
how do you forgiveness?
Is there forgiveness, or can you forgive it, or can you even work the relationship back? Can you find the good things in the relationship to make it work? And going back a few comments when Sylvia said that, if she thought everything was great and then he cheated, he's out. But here's the thing. One person can't think that the relationship is great. Both has to think the relationship is great. And how both people think that is communication.
You know what? God just put something in my heart, right? Here's the thing. If you're married, right? And now we're dealing with cheating, right?
And forgiveness.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If God can forgive, not saying that we're God, right? Then, like, who are we to not even give it a chance? You understand what I'm saying? It's hard because feelings are involved, and it's a lot involved with it. But I'm just saying, as forgiveness is a very hard thing when you look at it from a spiritual standpoint.
It is. Brian said something, but go ahead. He said that even in marriage, the saying goes, happy wife, happy life. There's no equality for a man. No, there is. It's knowing it's having that communication. I think that communication is a big part of that.
If there's a woman that's not given equality in a marriage, then there's something ain't right.
Both. It takes both people to work at it and be equal and have an understanding. It takes an understanding in a marriage.
Some people are blessed to repair a relationship. The trust is gone. Yeah, you're right. If the trust is gone, there ain't no relationship, I think. Because once the trust is gone, there's nothing besides, a conversation or, on a platonic level.
Okay, let's turn that around. Because we said, let's turn that around. Okay, we have great communication, right? And this is just an example, y'all. Because I would never cheat on my husband. This is my king. Anyway.
Because, I'll bust her head with a pair of skates.
Whatever. Okay, so let's turn that around. We have great communication, and one day I go out there and you trust me, and one day I go out there and I cheat, but I come back and I say to you, listen, I slipped up and I cheated.
Was there a banana peel involved? How did you slip?
Okay.
I'm saying.
That is not called for.
No, but okay.
So, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I promise I'll never do it again.
I want to go into, I would say, what made you want to cheat? What probed you to do that? Is there something that I'm not doing that you're looking for that you couldn't talk to me about? If we have communication and we have the communication that we have, or quote unquote supposed to have. And we're supposed to be able to talk about anything. Is there something that I've done that you can't speak about?
You want me to make something up?
No, I'm just saying I'm just saying those are the questions.
I understand.
You understand what I'm saying? Those are the questions that need to be asked at that particular time. Because to just lash out and be like, oh B, you tripping, you cheated on me, I'm going to F20 chicks. You gotta think.
What the heck is that?
The word F-U-C-K. I'm gonna go F20 of them because you cheated on me.
Oh,
to get back.
I'm like, what?
I just didn't want to use a lot of profanity. It's a family.
I thought that was some gangbanging stuff. F20 chicks.
You know what? I don't know. My mommy's on here. I can't curse. My mom, she's watching.
It really depends on the individual about whether or not the relationship can be repaired after cheating.
You're right, cuz.
My sister Davita said Frank on point. Okay, so we're gonna play this out. Okay, so you know that there was this, because we're gonna go by what you said. You know, there was this other person that I really was in love with too, and I bumped into him and we started talking, and I couldn't help myself. I could help myself, but one thing led into another, and I still love you, but I already told you that I was in love with that person too, and it just happened. But I apologize. It won't happen again.
And you want me to sit here and believe that? You want me to sit here and open my head to receive that?
Yeah, I do.
Ain't no way. You got some tissue? Then you gonna need it for this blood. No.
Okay, y'all. We're trying to be serious about this.
Erica, what's up?
Erica. Okay, so how do we?
So my thing is this: if that's the case, then I would say to you,
and also thinking we're spiritual people. Hey Danielle,
sip in the crib. I would say spiritually.
Yeah, spiritual, because we are spiritual people. So what do you do about that? Well, first of all,
I would ask you: did you repent?
Yes, I did.
I will look you in your face and say,
"See, that's how you going."
This is a daggone
Okay, that's how you going to tell me about Mama with God. Okay. Wait a minute.
No. I'm saying, okay, so if that's the case, then there's really some talking that we need to have.
And I thought, but you're supposed to be a godly man.
I am.
So
that's why you go upside your head.
You gotta forgive me.
That's why I ain't put you in a figure four. No, I'm only joking. Because I would never hit a woman. I despise that. But I'm just saying that's the time for those open conversations to be had, to say that, okay, you did tell me about this dude and you told me you loved him. Are you still in love with him? Is that where you wish to be? Is that somewhere that you wish
No,
to be?
I don't wish to be there. It's just that one particular night, it just we bumped into each other. We started talking. One thing led to another.
What led to what?
The talk. We were talking.
And old feelings came about.
Yes.
Okay. And you're sorry.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
Okay, and you just want me to forgive that.
I want you. I know that it might take a while, but I do. I want you to forgive me. I have asked God to forgive me. So why can't you?
I didn't say I couldn't, but it's going to be hard. You know you're going to sleep on the couch for the next 6
months. Well, I have to sleep on the couch. You can go to the couch, because I make that bed up every day.
Whoa. That's my couch.
See, this is what I'm talking about. No. Okay.
No, but
we are trying to be serious.
Seriously, though, that's a tough one, and you definitely would have to. You would definitely have to have a heart-to-heart about that. You definitely would, because that could very well put that man in a space of thinking, like, wow, you never really loved me in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? Regardless of what you said. What?
Davita. She said, what about when you bump into him again?
Facts. If you bump into him again.
Look, Mom said Frank and Terri more lucky.
No, Mom, I totally understand. I understand you. You know, mom got a boy. Her heart is like a rock on certain things, and she will not break or bend. Um, I can't see it.
Once that trust is broken, it is hard to get it back.
I don't believe that you are going to get trust back. What Erica say?
She said, I think you can forgive, but it would take a lot of work because you'll never forget.
One thing is this: you can forget. I mean, you can forgive, and it's going to take some work to forgive because as long as you hold on to it, it's going to destroy you. Now, what happens is you have to be able to decipher whether you're forgiven for yourself or you're forgiven for some other reason.
Yeah,
right? Let me finish. Because here we are at the point where, okay, I forgive this person, and you know, we're gonna go on from here, and this is cool, and all right, I'll forgive it. All right, that's cool. The moment something happens, and it doesn't even have to be pertaining to that type of a situation,
it's gonna come
does that come back? Right? Check it. And when it comes back, how bad does this thing eat at you in order for you to how bad does it eat at you, and does it make you want to retract your forgiveness? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Or
but here's
retract
the
a part of your
element that you
forgiveness?
didn't say, because this is what I would expect, because I think this is where I would be with it. I would say I can work on forgiving you, but that don't mean we can be together right now.
That's okay.
Maybe in the future, I don't know. I can't speak for the future.
Fine.
But my thing is, yes, I can work on forgiving you and possibly even forgive you. But that don't mean I can be with you. Because just because I'm forgiving you in a marriage don't mean that I can be with you.
Right.
I can say, okay, first I can sit down and I can talk to you about what happened that made you go out there and cheat. For whatever reason, like it might be somebody you was in love with or whatever. Okay, I'll accept that. What I need from you right now is space. I need you to get your things and find some place to go right now.
All right, I'm just going to move right into the other room.
Well, okay, but I see, I don't need to see you.
So close your eyes when you walk past me.
I'm going to need you to go somewhere. You might want to go to that place you cheated on. And I knew that was but you might want to go stay with her. Hey, sir, can you sleep on our couch? Because I would need some space right now. And I know that's petty, but
But now
I need time. Okay.
You said it's petty.
Okay, yeah, it's petty, but
okay. So now my thing is, this is crazy. So you just it just does not matter at that point. It's just everything is out of the window.
I mean, you done broke everything. So what?
Right.
It didn't matter to you when you were cheating, did it? Did you think about what you was breaking when you? So I'm just saying, yes, I can forgive you, but right now I need to be in me. I need to sit in my mess and my pettiness, okay? And so I need you to go wherever you're going, so I can sit in my pettiness, okay? And then when you're not there, then I can think, oh, well, I miss him, and then maybe I can, come around.
That's not gonna happen. You be doing bushcraft out in the woods somewhere.
Okay, Erica said, wait a minute. Mom said, what do you do if a life comes from the cheat? Oh, Lord, man. Okay, wait. We're going to get to that. Erica said there are some people that will stay in that marriage just to make those odds in.
Well, that's just being there for convenience. That's all that is.
And Tony said the couple should really be putting in that work and that intimacy, making it creative and exciting so that they can't wait to make love and communicate on all levels. And you're right, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and there's really no room for cheating, but it's a tough subject. You're right, Tony, but all relationships was not built that way. So you're talking about people who might not have built their relationship on that.
But and that's so not to say that. But that's still not to say that they can't work on that to get it there. That's what he's saying. And Mom, back to Mom's question. You got to
if there's a life that comes out of cheating.
If there's a life that comes out of cheating,
that's going to be a longer, harder forgiveness.
I think that's part 4 of this forgiveness series.
Yeah, that's going to be a longer, harder forgiveness because then. Not for nothing. I would never blame an innocent child for anything. But you got that means that now there's no forgetting because that's all in your face.
Okay, so there's no forgetting, but what has to happen now is they both have to man up and understand that they got whatever they have to do, you know what I mean? It's about the child now. It's the respect for one another to make sure this child has the best that they could possibly have. And I know that seems far-fetched, and I know that, you
and that person you cheated on. That's what y'all got to do. All I got to do is sit and wonder whether I'm going to forgive you or not. And I feel like dealing with all this.
Okay, I was answering it. I was answering it different.
At Tony, it would have to be commitment.
Right.
It would.
Mom, that's a hard question.
It would.
By the way, Tony, that's my mom. Sandra Bowles is my mom, so and Tony is Terry's cousin, Mom. That would have to be okay. So, are you saying that if a life came from cheating, does that mean he or she is still with the person that they cheated on, and with the person they cheated with, they have a child?
When they cheated, she got pregnant, or he got her pregnant. Whoever was the cheating person, like let's say you cheated on me, you went out and cheated with somebody else, and that person got pregnant.
Okay.
Or I went out and cheated with somebody else, and I got pregnant.
Okay.
So how do you deal with that? That would definitely have to be you go ahead your way and let me sit in mine and think about whether I want to deal with all this mess. That's the way I feel about it. I personally know someone that has experienced a child coming into the world out of wedlock. It's hard, and I personally feel that it takes a strong woman or man to stay after that.
Yes, it does. It takes a very, very strong person to stay after that. And the thing is that's a test of where your heart is, if you ask me. And that's a very strong piece of forgiveness. That part of forgiveness is very strong right there. I would say that. And
well, what if the mate cheats with your family member? With the
oh my God.
Y'all are just I can't.
We're still dealing with the mommy questions. What in the popcorn love?
Okay, what if the woman can't look at the child without having bad feelings?
And you have to wear sunglasses and look the other way.
Davina said, I haven't been in that situation in the past. My ex came to me and let me know he cheated. I had much respect for his honesty. He and I ended up closer. A couple years later, he did it again. I left him at that point.
Okay, so that can happen, and you definitely can. Wait, we're jumping around here. Okay, Mom's question was. Okay, the woman can look at the child. Okay, that's hard, Mom. That's a hard question. I think you would have to. The woman would have to really have to look into herself for that, because, and you have to ask yourself, I know that the person cheated or whatever the case may be, but you have to ask yourself, is it that child's fault? It's not that child's fault that this is going on, that this happened.
Okay.
And that child did not ask to be here.
Let me say this. There was a situation with a man and a woman where the woman cheated and she got pregnant, and she actually told the husband, I'm pregnant and it's not your child. And so when the child was born, the man went around saying, "That ain't my baby." And she went to him and she said, "Listen, if you say that again, I'm going to leave you and I'm taking all the kids with me." Mm-hmm. And that man decided to take care of that child and take that child as his own. And to the point where as he wouldn't even admit that that belonged to another man.
I mean another woman?
No, another man.
Oh, the lady.
Yes.
Okay, but you said the man.
The lady got pregnant by somebody else. So I think that it would have to be the circumstances. If, like, maybe if you cheated and you got somebody else pregnant and she didn't want the baby and we took custody of the baby and I had to raise the baby, then I might have to. I don't think I would ever look at the baby and feel like.
You wouldn't, because you're not that type of person. And you wouldn't look at the baby as this.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
With disgust.
Now, I would be disgusted at you and the woman, but I don't think that I would ever. I couldn't. I don't know. Because that's a child. I love kids. I don't know.
And children are innocent.
I don't know whether I could.
Julio, you here?
Oh no, that's Erica. Julio, okay. Is. Then it's time to Beyond Stunts Moms. What? Wait, y'all going too fast. Davida said it depends on the mentality of that individual. Mm-hmm. Erica said Williams. Mom said no, it's not the child's fault. So women has to abandon her feelings.
She does. She have to abandon her feelings.
No, I don't think she has to abandon her feelings towards the child. Maybe,
yeah, towards the child.
She has to abandon her feelings towards because
no, not towards the relationship or the guy. But her question was if there was a child that was born out of the cheating, right? And when she looks at the child, she feels a certain way. So that means she would have to abandon her feelings for that, because it's either you're gonna adhere to the child or you're gonna just, you know what I mean, cut all ties and not even deal with it. You understand what I'm saying?
I would take the child and kick both of y'all to the curb.
I'll take the child and get rid of them for $1,000. Yeah. The baby should never suffer. That's exactly right. The baby is innocent. And the baby should never have to suffer for what two grown people did. Here's the thing. You know what you did. Man up and face the fact.
Here's my thing about that's why I said
man up and face it.
No, this is why I said you can't possibly be in love.
Good, bad, and different.
Because all this should be crossing your mind before the act of cheating. That's the way I feel about it. If you cheated on me, you had to think about all that before. And if you didn't, then I'm going to remind you of it. That's why I said maybe I can forgive you, but you definitely got to go for me to sit in my pettiness for a while, because all this is supposed to be thought about. If you don't think about all this stuff, then you don't have no respect for that person. And the reason why I'm saying this, I'm talking about somebody who's been on both ends of it. I'm talking about somebody who has cheated and have been cheated on. So it's what you're thinking about when you get ready to commit the act of cheating. You know you're doing wrong. So do you have enough respect for that person that you're with, that you're going, whoa, we can't do this because I'm with somebody? Or you just going to say, okay, well, I'm going to do this anyway?
Well, eventually you'll eventually you'll feel like that, because I was on both ends of the stick too. I was on both ends of the stick too, and it's not pretty. It don't feel good, but at the same time, you know, you have to come to a realization, and you have to come to a point to say, you know what, I'm just not going. I can't do this no more.
So you didn't think in your head at the time before you committed, you know, this is wrong of me to do. You were so engulfed that you couldn't think, okay, I shouldn't do this. You know what? Men.
It was
because I gotta be honest. I thought on my head, yeah, I know what I'm doing and I'm gonna do it anyway because I want it. That's because I didn't have enough respect for that person that I was with, for whatever reason.
I don't. Well, I can understand where you. What's that? Baby shit. Oh, okay. Um, I that's hard. That's hard. I don't think that there should be a point where I mean, you may think about it and all of that and just act on it anyway. I mean, but does that really say you don't respect the other person? Does that really say that?
Well, since we can only speak about our experience and what we go through, in my experience, hey Brenda, in my experience,
Brenda Bill, what's happening, ma'am?
you are sorry.
You're a little you're about 40-something minutes late, but it's all good.
In my experience, it is because you do think. Well, I know I did. I thought about it. I thought I know this is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyway for whatever reason. Again, I say, and the reasons went in my head.
Ann said I was on both of the. Okay.
Too, and and we're not finished. Justin, I love you too. We love you too, Justin.
I think that forgiveness is a huge thing, and there's so many different demographics to forgiving. Um, to sum it all up, I would say that that's something that you would have to want in your heart. That's something that you would have to want in your heart to do.
And see, I disagree. I think that you can forgive if they cheat on you.
I'm just saying that's something in your heart. You have to have that. You have to have forgiving in your heart to want to forgive. This is what I'm saying.
You're right, and I think you can forgive, and I think you should because it's godly. But as I said, just as you forgive does not mean that you have to be bothered with that person
you can
for
forgive
what they
and
did
not forget
to you. Especially if they cheated on you. If they cheated on you, you can say, "Yes, I forgive you, darling. Now get your stuff." And you don't have to say the word stuff. And get your A on over and go be with that person.
And please, guys, call me BB.
Oh, okay.
All right, BB. I feel that that if you're gonna forgive, and my thing is, well, I know spiritually and the way that we live by, if I forgive you for something, I'm not gonna keep browbeating.
No, I'm not
gonna hit you over the head with every chance that I get. I'm not gonna, you make a cup of soup or something and you leave a little note on the hook part of the cup so that they can remember, or you know what I'm saying? If you forgive, you have to forgive wholeheartedly and let it go.
And I think with our relationship,
you have to forgive. If you can ask God for forgiveness, you're right, Brenda.
I think in our case that I think it would be a little different in our case because
we are totally different from. We're not the average.
Yeah, we're not. It would be totally different.
Yeah, it would not be the same for us because number one, we live by different principles and we live by different morals. First of all, first and foremost, and then if it's not of God, we don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that changed the narrative when it comes to dating or marriage and just boyfriend and girlfriend.
And for us, it would be in our head about cheating and how that would affect our whole demographic.
It would
because
I know that it's hard to deal with when you get cheated on because it happened to me before, and it was so hard for me to get over that. But I'm gonna be honest with you. When it happened to me, I was a part of a church, And I went to the church and I spoke with the pastor about it. And I asked the pastor if he would counsel us,
And likewise, I did the same thing when I got cheated on.
As a man, I wanted to do everything that I'm supposed to do by God before I give up a marriage. You understand what I'm saying? I'm as a man, as a godly man, I want to make sure that I did everything that I could possibly do before it's time for me to say, okay, God, I'm walking out. I'm out of this one. I did everything that I could. I tried everything. I went every which way. I knocked on every door. I prayed. My knees have blood because I've been on my knees with you, and I can't be a fool anymore. And I need to go. This is not for me anymore. And I'm asking for you to please forgive me for my exit. You understand what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure that I do everything as a man before I walked out, right? So I went to the pastor and I told him that I wanted counseling. And when I went back and, said what I said to the person that I was with, she said, I don't want no counselor. So that right there told me that
she didn't want to work on it.
She didn't want to work on a relationship.
And that's another thing. That's very important because I know that when I did the same thing. When I got cheated on, we went to the pastor for counseling. But here's the thing. For me, a part of my forgiveness was talking about it, asking questions. And my partner did not want to talk about it.
Some people take, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, baby. I so apologize. But some people take questioning more harsh than others. You understand what I'm saying?
I can understand that.
Especially if it's about a subject where they're already hurt from it.
But here was my thing. In order for me to forgive, I had to have understanding. Mm-hmm. Because in order for me to do anything, I need understanding. Mm-hmm. So, being that I was the one who was hurt and that needed the forgiveness, then for me, I felt like they should have given that much of themselves by taking that extra step and say, okay, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it for you. Because after all, you were the one who was hurt in it. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, because they didn't take that extra step, for me, I couldn't continue on. Yeah, because if you're asking me to forgive you, then I need these questions answered. Right. I need to know these things. And so you can't just, I don't want to talk about, just forgive me and forget everything. You can't do that.
No.
So
that's why I said, before you go to the person and say, this is what I did, so forth and so on, you have to be ready for whatever comes at you. And, the open heart conversation is going to get crazy. So, you have to be ready for that moment.
God bless you, baby. Thank you.
What'd you say?
She said, that's right, guys. If you're going to forgive, you have to let it go. I love you guys' relationship, and you're really joined by the hip. And you're really going to help so many people with your live chronicles. And God is blessing you and leading you in this direction. And I see so much coming your way.
Oh, thank you, BB. We appreciate it. We definitely appreciate you joining in and giving topics and all of that stuff, as we do everyone that calls in or chimes in and gives us their input. And like, we say all the time, this is just our opinion. We're not licensed.
With anything.
We're not licensed anything. I mean, driver's license, that's different. But, we're not psychiatrists and doctors and all that.
Things this is we've been going through.
Opinion of things that we've gone through and people that we know have
and if through. It helps somebody,
then to God be the glory.
Yeah, if it don't,
then
hey,
it's all right too.
Yeah.
We're just trying to do our part.
Yeah.
We're trying to do our part. So,
but I get what you're saying, but again, that's the two part of it. You have to, if you want somebody forgiveness, then you have to make those steps to get it. Mm-hmm. And on the other hand, if you're going to forgive, you have to look inside yourself and really
ask yourself, do you really want to forgive?
Yeah.
And is this situation or that person or that friendship worth forgiving?
Yeah, because there are some things out there that's just not worth it.
I mean, no, well, for us, we have to forgive that.
Yeah, we do, but in reality
Right.
of it, there are some things out there just not
Right.
worth. It's like I have to forgive you, but
This is corny.
yeah, it's really not worth it. Because we all are striving to be, on the right hand of God. So we all are striving. None of us are perfect. Perfect. So yes, we have to forgive.
And we're trying to be better in what we do and the way that we have to do things.
It certainly helped being spiritual and loving God.
Because at your darkest hour, He'll talk to you and give you
Exactly.
exactly what you need to do. And that is hallelujah. That's a blessing for that. So, in closing, because we kind of jumped
105.
over time, but it
Yeah.
really don't matter because I'm really enjoying this live today, and don't like being on the camera, but this is really it's food for the soul.
It's wearing on him, y'all. I wore him down. I wore him down.
Don't you believe it? I just want to say in closing, I know we touched on a bunch of different things and a bunch of different ways to forgive and not to forgive, and what if this and what if that, and what if this and what if that. Basically, the bottom line is if you're married, you really need to think wholeheartedly before you go out and cheat. And if you really have cheating in your heart, and that's
Don't get married.
You don't need to get married.
Or if you're already married and you're thinking outside your relationship, it's time to sit down
and have the conversation with your wife and say, hey, listen, this is what's been on my mind. I don't want to cheat on you. I love you. I'm gonna go my own way.
Or maybe you don't love her, and it's like,
maybe that too, or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna tell you what to say, but the thing is, whatever you need to do. Communicate first of all.
Trust.
Respect. And if you feel like, you're in a marriage and you feel the notion that, something came up and you might have saw someone that was pleasing to the eye, or, you have this sense of lust towards that person or whatever. Say it could be somebody on your job, or, since we're in the pandemic, it could be this chick that's walking past your crib with the sundress on, right? That
maybe you married for the wrong reasons, and that's not the one you wanted to be with, because you married because maybe she got pregnant or something like that.
And thought that she would never give you a chance because you lost her and this and that or third, or she had a sundress on, and every time she walked by the crib, it looked like two midgets is wrestling in the back of her dress or something like that. But anyway,
no. I don't know what he's talking about. And Mom, I'm a good girl.
No, basically, wait, before that, Brenda said, what?
I feel there's a big need for real talk, and this is why I've been wanting to do this myself for years, and I am. But it's going to be my own thing, and with a good male friend of mine. I've been wanting to do it for years. I really love to see you guys helping couples or just single folks. Love you guys, and I'm going to live later doing my nails and just talking with some friends.
No doubt. Right. That's what's up. We'll talk to you later on, Brenda.
Most men, boy, me and you got to have a conversation, because you're just bashing the women.
Most women keep a male friend. Is he lying?
But no, men do too.
Right. We both do. Erica said I'm crazy. Was that about the two midgets wrestling, Erica?
I mean, women keep a male friend in the back burner. Just no, not all women.
Not all women. And men keep a chick on the side too, because.
Listen, let me tell you something. I know about that male woman got that one reliable person. That's what the conversation is about before you get married. Because before my husband and I got married, I went to him and I said, do you have to make a phone call? And I said, because I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to them there was this one person in my life that no matter what,
right? I got you, boy.
That person remained. And
Mom said no, only cheaters keep extras. Cheater. You're a cheater. Erica said yes.
So it's just about having that phone call. It's just about making that phone call or having that conversation that you need to make that phone call.
In the defense of keeping one and in the defense on Mom's question, I mean her statement just now, she said only cheaters keep extras. In the defense of that, just like what I was saying before, if you're not planning on getting married and that's not something that's up your alley, then you might have a chick for this, a chick for that, a chick for this, a chick for that.
Or you just have that one friend that
that you can go to that. And maybe that one person might not want to commit. They just want to keep it, as it is. But regardless, you don't want to, it's not right, in God's eye for us to keep fornicating. That's not, the right thing, especially if if you're living by the word of God. But if you're not,
hey Timothy,
you go here and you go there and you do this and you do that. And you keep, what's up, family? I want to say that, if you keeping one in the stash and that's what and that's the way you living, then, eventually one day you'll come to the realization that maybe you need to drop that stash piece or
maybe that stash piece is the one. And yes, BB, there are people really keep that one person that no matter what they have. But and this is what I'm saying about being in love and respected. When you find that one, then it's time to say, hey, I had this person, I got to make this phone call. And you also give that person the option to make that phone call.
Oh, he's talking to Mom. He said, hey, Auntie, miss you. Okay, yeah, you got to make that phone call and explain,
Adam had 2 wives. Mom, can you talk about that? Boyne said Adam had 2 wives.
We can talk about it.
I'd rather for Mommy to put that in check.
Well, I want to, Erica. I miss y'all too. Carmen Ortiz. Alicia Patton.
Adam didn't have 2 wives.
Go ahead, Timmy. Here's my thing. If you have 2 wives, if you're Muslim, you have to be able to. You have to be able to, to treat them equally on all levels, or you don't.
Do not do it. The Bible does not.
Right.
Lethem and Eve. Mom, I would say go ahead. Well, you might as well get in there.
here's the thing.
Here's the thing right here. If that's what you're into, then make sure all parties agree. If that ain't what you're into, then you need to have the conversation of it's going to be just me.
Well, here's the thing. If that's what you're into, there's no need to get married. You need to get all the play and everything out of your system before you say I do. And if you don't, then there's no need to get married because you don't. You don't do, you don't. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get married, then that one woman is who you decide that you're going to be with for the rest of your life. And that's that. And what you do is you make things exciting with that person. You know what I'm saying?
Which is back to where Tony was saying.
Right. And most of all, if you pray and ask God to give excitement to your marriage, he'll do that. He'll do so faster than you think because God honors marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And if two come together, you know, and they cleave to one another, that God is so pleased with that. So any wish that you ask of him, not that he's not going to grant any wish, but any wish that you ask of him concerning your marriage, just my belief in my heart that I think that he'll grant that, you know, just as fast as he'll grant anything else, because marriage is sacred to him. So, you know, if you say, Lord, you know, I know that we abstained from sex before we got married, and you know, the world, quote unquote, says you should test drive the car before you buy it. You know, I didn't, so you know, okay, now I got this car in my garage, and I'm pulling up to the bumper. Can you bless me to be able to have this car be the nicest car that I ever had? And he will. He'll make the front bumper crazy, the back bumper will be crazy. You understand? When you open up the door and hop on those seats, to be the best leather you ever sat on. You understand? And that's just that. So if you're in the field and you feel like you want to get married, you have to sit down and make sure that everything that you've gone through in your past, you discuss with the person that you're getting ready to marry. And there shouldn't be any hidden agenda. There shouldn't be anything that you've hidden from her or him. And I believe that it should all come out before you say I do. That's just my belief. Okay, so
Barnes says Solomon had multiple wives.
What did Brenda say when what?
When the right person comes along, I would make that call. But until then, I'm good. I know that's right.
Yeah.
And Mom said, what Lord are you speaking of? Who said? I think she was talking.
No love you. I see. So I had multiple wives.
Oh, she was talking to between, that was Vaughn, her, and Timmy.
Yeah.
Timothy was talking. King David had multiple wives. If that's what you're into, then
what's up, Kiana? That's Tim's mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know you know. All right.
Hey, Kiana. If that's what you're into, then that's what you're into. But for people who are one-on-one, is what I'm saying. People one-on-one, then you need to sit down and have a conversation before you get married and understand that that's what it's going to be. If that person is for you and you for that person.
And I believe that the conversation has taken a turn.
Yeah, because y'all going
all the viewers, and they're going back and forth about multiple wives and multiple this and that. But here's the thing: this is what we're saying, that if you're going to get married, make sure that that person is the only one. Period. Point blank. That's it.
Loves you for who you are.
Make sure. You know what? An old man, an old head told me one time. He said, "You know what, youngin? When you get married, make sure you marry somebody that loves you, that's in love with you." You know how deep and profound that is? Somebody that's in love with you. And that means they're not worried about what's in your pocket. That doesn't mean that they're worried about what you can do for them financially, or they're in love with who you are, good, bad, or indifferent, your flaws and all of those things, that they are in love with you as a person and for who you are. That's what that means. And that is what you think of when it's time to get married. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, exactly. So when I can't see this.
It says, okay, a lot of men in the Old Testament had multiple wives. Y'all are going too fast. We can't keep up. Timmy said, I came late. Sorry, cuz. Bourne said, exactly. So who am I to change what God designed? I think they're going back and forth. Brenda said, you guys missed a lot of my conversations, but I do want to be in a solid relationship. That's what I asked for from God.
What part of your conversation did we miss, Brenda?
And Mom said, yes, Bourne, he did have multiple wives, but that was not God's law. That was man's.
My grandmother said,
love someone who loves you more than you love them. That's what.
That's kind of like the same thing that the old guy told me when we was having a conversation. He said, if you're going to get married, you make sure you marry someone that's in love with you. And I was like, okay, so somebody that's in love with me. But then when we sat, and the more we sat and talked about it, and the more that he broke it down, it started to sound a whole lot different than just make sure you marry someone that's in love with you. You know what I mean?
I married somebody that's in love with me.
Sure you did.
And did you marry somebody that's in love with me?
I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure that out.
You know what, man? You know you did.
Well, listen, y'all.
We have been on for a long time.
We taking up Facebook time.
This is supposed to be an hour show, but this was very good conversation. And the main topic, I know that we went into several different directions with it, but the main topic was forgiveness, part 2. Forgiving,
which is a 3-part series.
Yeah, forgiving your cheating mate. And bottom line is that, with God, all things are possible, even forgiveness.
That's right. And if you're going to forgive, please don't keep bringing it up. And with that being said, next week we'll be doing part 3 of forgiveness. And that's
sometimes things have been done to people when they were young.
Right.
And they're still harboring that. We're going to talk about harboring
feelings and being unforgiving for something that you don't even remember that happened.
Exactly.
Here you are 50, 55 years old, 50 years old, 40, 30 years old, walking around with a huge package on your back from somebody that did something to you in the sandbox, or something that happened in the sandbox days. And now you are 25 years older, 50 years older, and every time you see that person, you still look at them with this terrible eye, and really don't even remember what is going on. So next week, that's what the topic, that's what we're going to be addressing.
Yes. And
hold on, Brenda, what was that? She said what now?
Take the wheel. I think she was saying Jesus take the wheel. Typing too fast. And Timothy and Born and Mom is in their own.
God's design is what I can't really see.
It says God's design is what He created from jump. He created Adam, and from him became Eve. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cling unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So him born in mom, he made Leth first. Okay, so they're going through that.
You can forgive, but you won't forget. Okay. The reason why
you don't forget because it was a scar that hurt you.
Of course, you're right. You won't forget about it, but you have to forgive it.
Yeah, but you know what? We can forget too because going back,
love you too,
we said
Erica.
that. Thank you, Erica. Love you. Going back, we said that God He forgives and He throws it in a sea of forgetfulness, never to be thought about again. So that's what we were saying earlier. That you have to. We're striving to be God-like.
Right. Yo, Bird, my goodness.
Hey, Bird.
What's happening, my brother? Peace, 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 and love. Hey, Sean. Anger too.
Okay, so we have been on for almost an hour and a half. We thank all of y'all for your support and joining us. We will be back next Sunday at 6
to do part 3 of the forgiveness series. We want to just thank you all for all the comments
and the support.
We want to thank you all for all the support. We want to thank you for giving us topics to speak on. Again, we're not licensed professionals. This is just the opinion of us here at the Hatchett Chronicles. We love you all.
We want to just keep do the plugs again. My sister Val has her web series, The Ladies of the Book Club. Look out for that. My husband did the theme song and a couple of other songs on there. I have The Power of God already out. I am currently working on Life After Bent Knees, and I'm co-authoring a book with my husband called
From My Rib.
From My Rib. My husband and I are writing that book.
That book is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, so please look out for that. And go ahead. What you got going on?
A whole lot, man. It's crazy. No, well, actually, I'm doing a class for beginners that want to learn how to produce, that want to learn how to make beats. I'm working on that class right now. We're putting some things together, and if you take the class, upon completion of the class, I'm going to give you a beat pack with over 5,000 sounds in it, and I do use some of those sounds. Okay, I have that going on right now. You could go out and pick up, and I appreciate the support. You can go out and pick up on all stream sites. I have a breakbeat album that's called UTR, which is Untapped Talent Recording Records. It's a beat tape that I put out. It's all instrumental. It's 10 joints on there. There's skits on there. You know, it's just some really good listening music. It's just beats. You know, if you want to, you know, be a rapper in the bathroom, you can put it on and rock in the shower or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just a beat tape that I put out for the enjoyment of people. UTR presents GL's beat tape. It's on Google Play, Spotify. It's only $7. Go out there and grab it up.
It was put out under our label, our record label.
I just said that. Untapped Talent Recordings. I just said that.
I'm just
I just said that.
I can't say it again.
I just said
I can't say it again. You know, I'm gonna have to find in my heart to forgive you.
No, you're not.
I'll have to find in my heart to forgive you.
So we have that. I mean, I have that going on, and
you got the DJ bug.
Oh, I will be streaming live very soon. I got the DJ bug again. For those that don't know, I'm not just a producer, but I'm also a DJ too. And it's just been some years that I haven't been doing it. But as of lately, I went on to a watch party, and a lot of the guys in the room were DJ friends of mine, man, and they've been, you know, we've been chopping it up, and they asked me to go live. And not only that, but I just got kind of bit by the house music bug again, and I've been really anxious, and I've been just going crazy with this club music lately. So I'm going to be doing a live feed, but I'm definitely going to post it and let you guys know what night that I'm going to be going on. So I would appreciate the support if you want to listen to club music. I ain't going to be playing nothing crazy. So basically, with that being said,
one more thing. I still promote small businesses on Facebook, social media. So, you know, anybody has a business they want me to promote, and I am back into my creating and writing and negotiating contracts. If you need a contract, I am me or my husband.
I must say she's good with that too. She's definitely.
So we are busy. We are keeping very busy during this pandemic. Yes. And we really love all you guys, and we really thank you.
I love you. Kiana, I love you. Timmy, I love you. Mom, I love you.
It was nice hearing from you. Long time. Love you.
Yo, man.
Mommy, I love you.
Cousin Tony, I love you. Erica, we love all of y'all, man.
Family, friends, y'all are just the best.
And thank y'all so much for supporting us today on this topic. And prayerfully, you know, next Sunday, y'all would definitely be, you know, encouraged to join in, because some of the comments and things that were said today is definitely helpful and useful, and not only for, you know, for other people, but for us too, because it gives us a different way to look at things also. And we hope that, you know, the perspective that we give, your hearts and minds are being receptive to it, and vice versa. So with that being said, we thank y'all all so much for all the support and everything that you've done. And this is the Hatchett Chronicles, and we are OUT. Peace. Up top. Okay. All right.